the 6 biggest mistakes people make when trying to sow a new lawn from grass seed. In this video, I'm going to be looking at the 6 most common mistakes beginners make when trying to sow a lawn from seed. Also, how you can avoid these mistakes to get best results, save time, and save money from wasting the products that you buy. Over the past 12 months, I've teamed up with some of the biggest seed producers and distributors in the UK, and I've learned an incredible amount on what makes a successful outcome from sowing a lawn from seed. Hi everyone, it's Matt from Garden and Lawn Care Guy here, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing for more regular lawn care tips. My first tip for seeding a new lawn from scratch is going to be around timing. Now, timing of putting the seed down is crucial to getting the right outcome. Most people think you can just throw seed down at any time of the year and that it will grow and produce good quality, high levels of germination. As a rule of thumb, in the spring and the autumn are the best times for growing grass from seed. This is because you've got a more consistent, higher temperature range, above 10 degrees, and there's more likelihood to receive constant moisture. So tip number 1 is time your overseeding project carefully in the spring or the autumn. Look for when soil temperatures are above 10 degrees. Depending where you are in the UK, this is typically going to be from mid-March onwards and probably finishing up towards the end of September and into October. There are some special seeds that will grow over the winter times. So for example, one of the seeds in my shop, the Cold Start variety, can get kicking from as low as 5 degrees. But if you are going to sow throughout the winter months, then you need to make sure that you pick the right grass type in order to do so. Tip number 2 is around the planting depth of the seed. Now, some people will bury the seed right under lots of topsoil and assume that the seed will germinate from that point. This may be okay for planting bulbs and other plants in the garden, but with grass seed, you want to be targeting the seed within the top 1/4 inch of the soil bed. If you're establishing a completely new lawn from scratch, this will probably involve tilling over the soil or adding new soil material in and burying that seed just less than 1/4 inch in the top layer of the surface. Don't bury the seed too deep into the soil bed because it will struggle to germinate and most likely it could rot off or not germinate, and you're going to end up wasting your time and your money. Tip number 3 is all about watering. Most people forget this crucial step with regards to sowing grass seed. Grass seed during its germination period, especially during the first week or 2, needs to be kept moist. Now, this doesn't mean absolutely saturated and sitting in pools of water, because that's going to cause the seed to rot and prevent germination. And conversely, it doesn't mean keeping it bone dry, because that's going to slow down or even prevent the germination from happening. Keeping the soil moist throughout the first couple of weeks is a really key step. This could involve short bursts of watering for maybe 5 minutes, a couple of times a day throughout the germination period. You can also improve the moisture retention of the seeds by adding a layer of soil over the top, which will help retain and lock in that moisture in between the seed and the soil. One other thing to think about, which is a little bit more advanced, is the type of soil you get. If you've got a clay soil, this is generally going to be colder and hold more moisture. And if you've got a sandy soil, this is typically going to be more free draining. Keep it simple and water it for a couple of times a day for the first 2 weeks and you'll get great results. The 4th tip is around choice of seed. Now, here on this table, I've got a whole range of different seed types, and you'd really want to choose a seed that's suitable for your application. If you've got a hard wearing lawn, you want to go for a hard-wearing mix. And what this means is high foot traffic. Maybe it's in an area you've got to walk across to get from one part of the garden to another. Maybe you've got kids and pets and all those types of things. But if you've got high foot traffic, probably don't expect to have a ornamental type of lawn that needs lower foot traffic and maybe different types of maintenance. Pick the seed type that's suitable for your application. Also, another thing you might want to consider is around shade. Now, by shady, this is going to be things like tall trees covering a canopy, or buildings or fences, whereby parts of the soil or the grass don't get much light throughout the day. For a full range of grass seed, please check out my website link below. Tip number 5 is around the seed sowing rate. And what I mean by this is, how much seed do you need to put down onto your lawn in order to germinate effectively? Firstly, if you're sowing a lawn completely from scratch with nothing down, you probably want to target a higher application rate. And by that, I mean around 70 grams per square metre. If you're overseeding an existing lawn, maybe to thicken up some patches or repair some different areas, then you can choose a lower seeding rate down to 35 grams per square metre. Anywhere between in this range is going to give you the best results. If you want to really thicken up the lawn, you can lean towards the higher application rates, but generally sticking within those two boundaries is going to give you the best results. If you need some help working out how much lawn seed that you need to put down, there's a calculator on my website, which again I've linked down below. The last tip I wanted to talk to you about is preparation. Now, this is especially true for both types of scenarios. Where you've got an existing soil bed and there's nothing there, you're starting a lawn from scratch, now is the best time to kill off the weeds. Don't put the seed down and try to kill off the weeds later, because especially in the UK, it can be difficult to target some of those types of weeds because there aren't any dedicated weed killer for certain types of coarse grasses and grasses you don't want in your lawn. Till over the soil so you've got a nice seed bed for the soil to sit in, and refer back to a previous tip, which is sit them in the top 1/4 inch of the soil. If you're looking to overseed your lawn, preparation is just as key. Some things that I like to pay our attention to is the amount of thatch in the lawn. You can take a sample of the lawn by cutting a little section out, or get into the seed bed and take a look. If you've got a lot of thatch in your lawn, if you think of the grass blade standing up like this, with that thatch layer sitting on top, whenever you drop seeds into your lawn for overseeding, if they're going to sit on that thatch layer, they're going to struggle to germinate as well as they would if they're sitting into the soil bed. So scarification is a great process to use before overseeding. I've actually made a full video step by step on all the steps you can take to do a lawn renovation, and I'll link that in the card above if you're interested. The other thing scarification is really interesting to do before overseeding is it creates little furrows, especially if you do 2 passes, one that way and one that way. It can create little channels. That's going to help the seed sit in those channels, and whenever you've got a good seed to soil contact, gives the seed somewhere safe to grow in those channels and can promote new growth. The last tip, which is often overlooked, is around rolling or treading in the seed. If you think of the seed, it wants to be in contact with the soil. So after you've dropped the seed down, rolling the lawn or treading in the lawn is going to help compress that seed into the soil bed and give it a better seed to soil contact. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about how to look after your seed after you've put it down. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to my channel and turn the notification bell on, and I'll put a link to that video here.